and gentlemen, to the Overwatch League. It's time to round out the day. We have one final match for you, and it has the potential to be a banger. We got the Shanghai Dragons going up against the Dallas Fuel, so two major fan bases here in the audience getting ready to collide.
Yeah, a lot of history, for these two teams. Shanghai obviously having a rough season last season. Dallas Fuel, formerly Envious, their run through Korea, all the tournaments they've won leading up into Overwatch League last year. Talking about the Shanghai Dragons, the first time they've taken a win, now they're on a winning streak.
Oh, baby!
2 in a row. They've broken 2 records back-to-back in their first win, then getting their first 4-0. Now, they will face the Fuel twice in a row in a weird, kind of unusual scheduling circumstance here. So this is part 1. We'll have the next part actually next Friday, and then they will face the London Spitfire to round out the stage.
Yeah, so both of these teams having plenty of time to really focus in on each other, to figure each other out. But one of the star players for the Dragons making his debut on In Owl this season is Ding.
Yeah, he leads the league in time played as Sombra. So he's played more Sombra than anyone else, what that means. He's had a lot of very successful EMPs, his hacks preventing Ameng in this case from escaping. Really nice EMP setups, very good at hounding down and finding the supports and building EMP quickly. If you take a look at his stats compared to 16 Sombra players, his highest stat, of course, is enemies hacked per 10 minutes. That's not enemies hacked in total. That per 10 minutes stat is important because it means that, it's not independent of how long he's played Sombra that he's actually ranked 3rd in enemies hacked. He's just able to find those targets and secure the hack, which is very difficult to do with so many abilities that can interrupt.
Well, he's not playing by himself. He's got an entire team around him. Let's go ahead and introduce them, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and take another look at the Shanghai Dragons.
It's a new year for this team. They look tonight to not only win again, continue their streak to make it a 3 streak, but for the first time to have a positive record in the Overwatch League. Records being shattered left and right for this new roster. And it's been, on the back of players like Ding hitting the EMPs, having those hacks, Gamsu, the new leader of the squad, the new main tank, and the core of the Kongdu Panthera roster that came from Korea. Suddenly, the Shanghai Dragons, not a weak team, but in fact, a very powerful squad that you should not underestimate.
Now, one that you have to be worried about. Dallas Fuel was worried about losing that match to them in Season 1. Now, probably having similar worries as they get ready to take to the stage. So let's go ahead and bring them out, ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Fuel.
We've seen a really improved Dallas this season. The stage 4 run they had, very impressive, very memorable. But even leading into, the beginning of here, stage 1 of the 2019 season, massive improvements. I feel like a big redemption story for AKM as well. He's been the core of this roster. He will be in our starting 6 tonight with RCK. And it's been AKM who's had the more successful Zarya over effect. He's had good Sombra play. And generally speaking, when he's in the roster, when he's shot calling, this team looks a lot more comfortable.
He does. So we'll have AKM there. RCK on camera at the moment, getting settled in, taking a drink of water here, making sure that they are ready to go. So we get ready to dive into this series and see if they can halt that win streak that the Dragons have rolling for them at the moment. Those back-to-back 2. Or if they can make it 3 by taking down the Fuel. Again, these guys do have to play each other. That's their back-to-back matchups coming through. So might even just be 50-50 at the end of it. Maybe one takes the one set, the other takes the next.
Yeah, for both of these teams, this win will set the stage for part 2, which will happen next Friday. And usually in esports, with matches this close together, you will have the repeat victory, right? Who wins this match will be very likely to take the second, and in this stage, that will boost you up 2 wins. So, if you can, especially if you can win this with showing the least amount of strategy, if you could give your opponent the least amount of idea about what tricks you have up your sleeve, that's going to be ideal.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the map set presented by Toyota and see where we are going. Ilios again to kick things off for you and I, Wolf, but we'll change it up. No King's Row. Going to be going over to Numbani, then Volskaya and Dorado. So just the control going to be the same for us. Otherwise, diving into a completely different map set.
There is a lot of possibility with this starting 6 for Dallas Fuel to see Sombra But this is not, in particular, Sombra's strongest map of the 3 here on Ilios. But with RCK in, along with AKM, there's 2 Sombra players available. Usually AKM has been leading in Zarya at the moment. So that means that RCK has the opportunity with AKM in the booth here rather than Effect to swap over to Sombra. Zachariah going to be on the Brigitte to face off against Youngjin, one of the more famous Brigittes coming out of Korea.
Yep. Was by far the best that we had in Contenders Korea. So let's see how he fares now. So go ahead and push their way in towards the point.
Rhine matchup here, favorable for the Rhine that gets on the point. That happens here for Gamsu. So the approach is going to be tough for OGE. So just too much damage output in this small enclosed space. RCK is trying to make a play, but he's caught.
Decent amount of damage coming through, and actually Unko will be able to pick off Luffy. Good start for them. Cap getting ready to roll in, but Gamsu's still low. Armor pack will come out from Youngjin to help make that Reinhardt just a little bit more stable, but now Koma going to be picked up. Youngjin going down. All the supports being eliminated off the bat, which makes for a very easy cleanup for Dallas Fuel. So 13% going to be gained. Otherwise, Flip comes in, Dallas Fuel will retake very quickly.
You never want to lose your Zenyatta first because that Transcendence is such a critical ultimate in this meta. Nice snipe there by Unko that makes it happen. And that allows them to break through with no damage amplification onto OG as he comes in on the Winston. Great start here for the Fuel.
Pushing their way through, Shatter going to be coming down. Locks up AKM, but no way to get on top of him. So overall, going to be quite all right. Ting almost loses out on the mech. Manages to hold on, but that's going to be one ult gone for the Dragons. Rally now coming through from Youngjin as they push their way up. AKM building up that energy, throws out the grab as the sound barrier comes through for the Dragons. So just trying to hold on. Bomb from RCK, manages to find one as the M will get picked off. Bomb from the side, Ding gets rid of closer.
Nice charge from
still to
Gamsu.
get that flip. Gamsu going lower and lower, gonna be pooped off this side. The primal rage from OG taken out too. The tank line completely decimated, and again, the Dallas Fuel will clean up house now, surging forward, getting ready to pass 55%.
They do it in the best possible way. The primal rage getting the value that is required to hold a push like this. Gamsu sets up that play with the charge to get the self-destruct kill, but then puts himself out of position and is promptly knocked off the side. Big punish plays from OG, who's recently talked about confidence issues on a stage like this, but starting off strong.
Pushing from behind, RCK giving him a bit of a surprise. Remembers the Dragons getting beaten and battered, going lower and lower, and Gamsu going to be taken down. Homa manages to answer one back onto OG, but otherwise, Closer's the one who's coming up huge.
You find yourself in a bit of a catch-22 as, Gamsu in a situation like this. You don't have high mobility. You don't have the ability to jump in. Dallas Fuel can always threaten your support line, so you have to stick with them, but that means getting to the point means you're going to take so much damage on your way in. You can see AKM is doing that damage. He's hiding for the grab.
Grab comes in. They lock up Gamsu. Maybe never going to get to use that Shatter, in fact. Will just go ahead, deny the tag onto the point, and pick up the first round of Ilios.
Yeah. That is a big issue. As you can see, just not able to get in there.
Cannot force that out, but guys, we do have Danny standing by with some insights. So Danny, take it away. What you got?
Thanks, guys. So I got to talk to Shanghai Dragons, and they told me that they feel like having a back-to-back matchup for the team is a disadvantage. Not only is it hard for the players, but also switching strategies in general in one day is simply draining. Also, since Shanghai and Dallas will be playing twice, Shanghai said, quote, "It would be interesting because there is a chance for a salty run back for the losing team." That's all I have. Wolf and Achilles, back to you guys.
Thank you very much. A salty run back. I like the way that is that they're putting that. So yeah, trying to get that revenge
Classic
if you do get
Esports
taken
term.
down in the first bout.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but for those who missed it yesterday, Shanghai Dragons did face off against Chengdu, and it was the battle for China. We did see victory on the side of Shanghai Dragons with their Korean roster here, but that's one of the things that makes you struggle is having back-to-back matches like that, as was mentioned just briefly, just moments ago by Danny, is that you've got the strategy that you showed yesterday, primarily Sombra play coming out from Ding, and then now you're feeling a little bit concerned about the Fuel, kind of countering that strategy moving into today's matches. Then you've got to face them again in a week's time. It's a very stressful schedule for both teams, but Shanghai played just yesterday, so they've got that slight disadvantage.
Well, it seems like Another issue here on stage that we're having might be getting taken care of. AKM himself jumping in to assist his teammate and ensure that all is well.
Yeah, our referee's got it covered here. And, you know, we did see that call for applause immediately after the game happened. Regardless, you know, AKM was able to set that grab up to stop the point from being tagged. OG had a phenomenal Winston round there and was able to use his ultimate multiple times to get environmental kills. So, good start here for Dallas. That sound means the game has been unpaused.
Yep. Gone ahead, we've resumed it. That's just the counter saying, yep, Dallas Fuel have taken the first round of Ilios, so we'll be able to get back in here to see where we're headed. Lighthouse out of the way, either going to be well or ruins. Always that outside chance. AKM brings us the Widowmaker. Should ruins be the map, and there it is, but for now, still going to be hovering the Zarya.
Talking about Closer for a minute, you know, he has set up a lot of these fights with his incredible ultimate tracking. He was super famous for that back when he was on G-Busan Wave, and then of course London Spitfire, being known to track ultimates within 10%. And he practiced a ton of that to be super clean on knowing exactly when people are going to have ults. And that helps OG be extremely efficient with ultimates like that when he knows there's no counter ults.
Marco taking a lot of damage here. Pushes his way back with the rest of the squad. Dallas Fuel staying together as a unit to help keep him safe. Right click's just going to be charged up, looking for some targets. Ooh, helps take DM down. OG's there for the alley-oop, scoops up the kill. Now Gamsu trying to exit, will be able to do so. But the cap will come in. Dallas Fuel getting ready to grab it.
There you go. Another quick cap for the Fuel. And they have this now high ground control. Look at where AKM is going to stand on top of the ruins. If you're a Zarya player, that's how you get up there. Jump around the left side and then get on the rooftop. Now you have the ability to lob right clicks in.
Sneaky Gamsu was hiding in behind the Fuel's position. Jumps up top and takes so much damage. With the help of that Discord orb out from Unko's that he has to back down. Unko, however, going to get picked. Stun comes in. Youngjin manages to find a kill on him. Grab's going to be out. AKM pinning him into the wall. Gamsu does not stand a chance. Did not have the primal range available. Just 12% away from that as he gets taken down. Dallas Fuel very convincingly win the fight.
It's not, you know, I feel like we have to give credit to our observing team for showing the spectating of Gamsu there, because that's the moment you realize it wasn't just Obi-Wan who benefited from high ground. It's always the vision control that's up there. You know, you could see how little information Gamsu had about what he was going to get hit by as he headed up there. By the time he gets there, he's already jumping down because he's so low. And it's just a huge advantage in this meta right now. It always is, but in this meta in particular.
Youngjin going lower and lower, Rally giving him that armor, helping to push him back up to a stable position. DM going to be dropping in the grab. AKM the first one to fall. Bombs out from RCK, however, but Ding is the one who comes up big. 2 kills off the back of that self-destruct. This will be the cleanup as they finish off the Baby Diva.
And I believe even the explosive mech, the one that was going to explode, got a knockoff kill there as well, mid-air. So it ends up being a triple with that one. Now the Shanghai Dragons have the opportunity to turn this high ground against the Fuel the exact same way. You can see that they're mirroring what we just saw. They don't have the ult lead, though, because they had to use those to flip the points. So Dallas should be able to skirt around the right side.
Pushing their way in. Gamsu looking to block them. Primal Rage going to be coming in. Unko already picked off by Ting. Gamsu just looking for a target to harass. Comes over here, spots out AKM. They finish him off. They'll keep holding. 30% coming through for Shanghai. 70 established by Dallas. Can they hold this for a lead, if not the win?
AKM's going to have a Graviton Surge, but Luffy's got the answer with the Transcendence. We talk about this, you know, relationship a lot because that is the way you shut that down. AKM's taking a lot of damage, but he does get inside, can reach the point with this grab.
Grab's going to be coming through right here onto the pillar. Sound Barrier to help try to keep them alive. OG going lower and lower, pushes his way back around the corner. And will be capped in the fight. Unko building up, getting closer to that Transcendence. Going to be 15% away.
Huge play by Youngjin to stun OG up there and make sure that he could not escape. He did survive, but he wasn't able to do what he wanted to do. Rally's still up here for Youngjin. And if they need it to win this longer fight, he's certainly going to drop it down. Huge opportunity to turn this in their favor.
Gamsu going to be stunned up. Primal Rage now going to be available. Keeps his way back up, looking for some damage. Not going to find it. Pushes around the backhand side. Unko going lower and lower, but won't get top back up. Still holding on to the Transcendence. Now it's going to be Closer, who's under some fire. Gets the poop away, but all of this mess The support's being distracted by the angry Winston. OG gets picked off. Kamsu pops the primal, comes in the back line. Now it's going to be the transcendence out from Unko as they try to hold on and get this flip. The Dragons pushing beyond 90%. Grab out from DM. Kamsu gets the stomp on his Zachary. RCK answers one back as DM gets popped. Now Ding as well. Knocked out of the mech, but they lose out on Unko. So no Zenyatta in the fight. Luffy on the other hand, Transcendence is out. He's keeping his team alive. Sound barrier has to be used by Closer. Takeham builds up that energy, 100 here. Grab comes down, they lock up Youngjin. Now Kamsu gonna be joining them there in the vortex. Kills roll in, Zachary rejoins with the Wrecking Ball, and it seems like Dallas Fuel here in the overtime will be able to get this flip.
To the layman, it looks like why would the Dragons commit Sound Barrier there? It's a lost fight. There's no way that they're gonna turn it after the grab comes through. They're positionally disadvantaged. They've already lost one of their members. But as the Dragons, that was your best chance to hopefully turn the fight, because now as Fuel wants to close this map out, they have that positional advantage we've been talking about so much throughout this map, and the ults. This rally from Youngjin is going to be their only way to approach the point. Hope to build a grab. There's the rally.
OG just going to be swinging away here onto the low ground, pushes his way back up. Kamsu taking a beating. Ding as well, almost losing out on the mech, has to go into the back. They try to deal with RCK. Ryan for Ryan, still swinging away, but Kamsu going to be taken down with the help of Unko. Gets the pop. RCK not going to find anything with his self-destruct.
Another grab for
AKM. For Luffy. AKM throws in the grab. Unko still holding on to his support ultimate, but might not even need it because the kills are just spilling forth for the Dallas Fuel as they look to close things out with a 2-0. Ding with the bomb, manages to find OG, but can't make it back into the mech and onto the point in time to contest it. And even if he did, highly unlikely that anything would have happened.
AKM 2,500 damage ahead in the Zarya stats. This guy, it's been his season to redeem himself. Rough 2018, but 2019, he's the one who's stepping in and stepping up big.
Looking pretty darn good. 1-0 the lead here for Dallas Fuel Shanghai. Can they tie it up? We'll find out in a bit.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to dive into our second map. Dallas Fuel currently leading with a 1-0 after the victory on Ilios. Now getting ready to shift to Numbani. Shanghai Dragons going to be trying to tie things up.
Shot calling here from AKM and the ability to have, on average, 20% higher energy on Zarya, not to mention the damage output I talked about earlier. He was definitely the MVP of that first map, and he was able to, you know, basically demolish Gamsu's aggressive playstyle as a result. When we head to Numbani, it'll be more of the same, you have to imagine, with 3-3. Winston on the defense and the Reinhardt attacks, that same matchup we just saw. Already jumping into this one, players ready with no substitutions. Will be Dallas Fuel to defend first. That OG Winston. Coma locks in the rare Ana here for attack. It's a risky pick, but it can net you. Okay, they're gonna sub Youngjin, Brigidalist here.
Swapping over a bit.
It can net you, if you get a big bio grenade, a free defense, then you get insane value. There should be a free attack. You get insane value off of
RCK got slumped up front. He's gonna get popped out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Ding steamrolling his way through. They knock him out. They can deal with the baby diva later.
Yep, that's all they were looking for.
Absolutely huge. Big mistake here for the Fuel from RCK, in particular, playing up that far. Now in onto the point, the first hit gonna be gained. Next one nearly there. We'll just grab it for free. Dallas Fuel taking their time before they go for the contest. Now we'll finally be dropping in. OG leading the charge. It's that sorry bubble, but instantly sunned up, melted down. AKM only able to find Luffy so far. Need a lot more than that if they want to maintain control. But now DM gonna get picked off. Homon gets the right click there. RCK, basically as soon as he arrives back in, is taken right back out of the Mac.
Youngjin's still alive here. There's a way they could flip this. They need reinforcements, though.
Grab's gonna be coming through, and that will do it. We'll be able to clean up those final 3 kills. Likely wanted to wait for a bigger moment for that to come in, but very necessary to just clean it up now.
Look at the difference here. We're going to take a look at this sleep once again. This is why you start the Ana. This is not the grenade I was talking about, but rather just trying to punish an aggressive diva play.
Oh, from downtown.
They get the start here, but the finish is a little bit tougher. DM, again, behind in damage. AKM getting that grab, and that's what closes it out.
Decent stability, at least here for the Fuel, to be able to hold out after losing their diva. A lot of damage going through the members of the Shanghai Dragons. That's going to force the Transcendence out from Luffy, as they're still up onto the high ground for now. So not fighting with this healing rolling. Also just waiting for Uncos to expire, so matched Transcendences coming through. Shatter's gonna be out, catches a few into the back. OG gonna be taken down with a fire strike, and a nice lead on that grab. Ding takes that one away, and the bomb will clean up too. That will finally be the Shanghai Dragons punching their way through A.
Major big plays. Major big plays by Ding. In a tense moment where the first attack went fairly well. They had to go for a second one. Now he's gonna swap over to Sombra. This is his signature hero. For those who missed earlier, #1 in terms of Sombra, time played on Sombra. Zachary will swap over to the Ana here. This is a great pick against the Sombra. Usually it's the Zenyatta, though, who will swap over, not the Brigida. In compositions versus Sombra. In this case, it's more of a Brigida swap, as we saw just earlier.
Starting to push up here, trying to deny the Fuel from coming around the corner here. Luffy gonna be taken down, AKM finding the kill. TM up on top of the bus, will be forced back. Gamsu goes lower and lower, tries to charge back towards the spawn, but will be picked up.
And this is more of the same, right? AKM managing his energy well. He's cutting them off in these chokes. He's able to do more damage overall than DM. But talking more about Zachary's pick again on this Ana, what's cool about this is a lot of people have actually been able to predict where Sombra will EMP. You can see it's a pretty long animation, so good Anas can actually sleep the Sombra mid-air, and I think that's the idea here with Zachary trying to counter this.
See if they're going to be able to shut it down.
66%, 68.
Well, grab's going to be thrown in. Transcendence out from Luffy to try to keep him alive. DM taking a ton of damage here. OG going to be hitting the ground, counterpin coming through, but Gamsu going to be slumped in the middle of it, so they can't get the damage through on OG. That means that the Nano Boost can keep rolling as he swings away. Tries to get a couple extra kills in, won't be able to find too much. Shatter going to be built up and ready.
They need to be careful now, though, of this EMP. They know it's ready. Closer's got ultimate tracking in his brain. He's hardwired. From above, where Ding is looking for it, will he get slept? That's the question as he looks to set this one up. Around the corner, it's tough to hit him.
Working their way off. EMP will be coming through, catches 3 members. Go pops the Transcendence, but it's not in time to keep OG alive. Now Ding is going to be looking to farm up for the next one. Pop RCK out of the mech, and they can finally start rolling the card. Cam trying to make it out with his life. Very far forward chase from the Shanghai Dragons, but they can't quite get him.
Nice shatter, though.
They go in for the shatter. So really get that extra distance. If one sitting back on the cart, it's going to be Luffy pushing things forward.
So much extra, you know, in terms of the push, in terms of ult gains for the Shanghai Dragons, only using really the shatter there for the chase, so pretty efficient too. Now look at the high ground control they have here with DM and Ding. There's always going to be a threat of Ding in the back line. And that's something they need to be aware of. If he gets slept, that's one thing, but so far Zachary hasn't been able to hit that mark. We're going to go for one more contest here.
And with the ultimates getting ready to come through, seems to be worth the attempt. Hack going to be there on RCK. Grab comes in, locking up the members of the Shanghai Dragons. Luffy just now going to be getting that Transcendence online. Pops it as the shatter comes down. We'll be able to deny all of this damage away from the Dallas Fuel. Bomb gets the pop, knocks Luffy back, but they turn around. They get the kill onto OG. And now the cart should be able to advance a little bit more. 1.85 meters left to go with 1:28 on the clock.
It's crazy.
They're still playing forward. They're still stopping this one. But
RCK?
how long can they hold out for?
Another hack here for Ding. It's crazy how many of these he's able to hit. Tries to prevent the remake here for RCK, but he's just doing so much damage. It's insane. And that should be the point, just going over to the Shanghai Dragons here. Well played. Not to mention, in that last fight, the last grab we saw from DM, he set it up with a hack onto RCK so that it could not be eaten. Really good synergy here with his tank line. And he's already 2/3 of the way to another EMP nearly here, as he looks to just harass once again, farming this charge up while being a pain, allowing that cart to roll around this corner.
Yeah, constant harassment. It's constantly making the Dallas Fuel look every which way, spinning in circles, trying to spot the Sombra. Rally's gonna be out, Youngjin leading the charge. OG gonna be taking down the sound barrier from Closer a bit too late. Now the shatter's in.
It's a big one.
Gamsu locks him up. Double kill with the charge, paving the way for that payload. Gated back into the spawn. Zachary will get picked up right at the end.
You know, well, RCK is not gonna be long for this world. Really feel like part of the reason for this Ana was to shut down Ding, but it is not working out, Ilios.
No, it's not. EMP coming through as they push out. They pick off OG. They will be able to finish Numbani. Sign bank not as strong as it could have been, though.
Sure, 70 seconds per EMP for Ding. 16 hacks on that attack round, half of which came from EMPs, making a big impact once again on this Sombra. Oftentimes when you see an EMP come, it will come from midair. You'll see a Sombra translocate, confirm for a split second that it's going to be worth it, and then launch it out. We saw several times earlier tonight, especially in the Dallas series, that sometimes in that moment you could sleep the Sombra. We saw lots of good sleeps from Zachary just in general on that defense with the Ana. But at the end of the day, the EMPs came in when they needed to. The hacks there onto RCK to make sure DM could his grabs no matter what. These are the small, subtle things that a Sombra can do for you. And it's just the frustration of having to track a Sombra non-stop as well. It can really get into your head. And we know that AKM and RCK are no strangers to the Sombra play themselves. But they're sticking with what they feel is the better answer with the Ana. They're running just the, you know, his Zarya, where he outperformed DM on the previous map. It makes sense on paper. And this map is by no means over. It's just that I don't think the Dallas Fuel expected the Sombra to have as much impact. They clearly were prepared. They watched the match yesterday and the Shanghai Dragons matches leading up to this. Well, on the attack, OG locking in the Winston for now. A rare attack Winston to see on this map.
Seems like we'll just be sticking through with it. So get ready for the push. 1:40 going to be the time to beat. No sleep dart shenanigans, but Shanghai Dragons not really putting themselves in a position to lose somebody off the bat.
Ding back on the Diva. Meanwhile, probably saving that Sombra for Streets phase.
Ooh, a lot of damage there, straight onto the Winston. Going to be rejoining. Look how far back they're going.
Yep. One of the ways you want to play Winston this point as the defender is to leap and then get maximum stomp damage there with the landing impact.
Push back there onto OG. AKM taking a lot of damage. RCK stunned up, nearly melted out of the suit. They almost instantly had a pop onto him. He barely manages to get out of there.
The attacking Winston is always going to have a disadvantage in terms of that leap damage. He's going to approach from below this time to try to do more, but look at the spread here for the Shanghai Dragons. Hard to actually get a big hit here as the attacking Winston versus the defender.
Do they want to do the full wrap around? Seems like that might be the call right now, playing here at the corner.
The Dragons have already scouted everything out. Here we go.
It's going to be
OG
up
alone.
onto the top. OG pushing up. It's going to be zapping away. Gamsu still very comfortably ahead of him as far as charge, 20+% at the moment, built up for that primal rage.
Same to be true of DM versus AKM. He's got higher energy as well. OG's suicidal, crazy to jump in there.
Yeah, hits the banner, doesn't land on the ledge. Gamsu dangerously low. There's going to be a decent opening for them to get onto the point while they wait for that Winston to be bumped back
Okay,
up.
they got Youngjin.
OG finds Youngjin as the rally is available. DM now, grab, ready to roll, throws it down, locks up AKM by himself. Bomb straight in on top of him, but he gets the bubble in time, and Unko is there for everybody else with the Transcendence. AKM now pushes back, manages to find Coma. Taking him out, but they still haven't ticked up the point yet. Primal Rage gonna be used. Double Winstons smacking around at each other, but AKM will clean things up. OG looking for a target. Only has a couple seconds remaining, so really just gonna get a couple smacks here onto DM.
Yeah,
Then
DM's
we'll
actually
exit.
going to win that trade, getting a little bit more ult charge. Question is, does Ding swap, or will we just see the D.Va continue here, this time on the defense for the Dragons? Gamsu going over to Ryan. OG will match. Pretty much required in the streets phase of this map. You're not going to do much in terms of leap damage.
Well, that's a good little pick off there.
Nice little bonus. They're going to engage off of it, too.
Yeah, we'll just go ahead and start pushing their way up. AKM, however, trying to counter. Throws in the grab. The bomb's into the back. The shield comes up, but DM will get caught by it, as does Ding's mech. We'll be able to clean them up, so no spawn camp to be found for the Shanghai Dragons. Dallas Fuel, they persevere, they push back, and they continue moving the cart.
They got a grab off of the pick there with Luffy, but unfortunately Dallas Fuel gained a little bit more ult charge on that last exchange as well. Ding will swap over the Sombra though. This is where they're comfortable. Zachary still on the Brigitte, but in this case as the attacker where you're on the payload and you know the Sombra has to get near you, you feel pretty good about getting a potential stun as the Sombra harasses because you're with your squad. Very different from the defense. It's a little bit tougher for Ding to get those EMPs this time.
AKM sees the drop there, knows that now he has high ground to himself. Transcendence gonna be out. Shatter ready to go from OG. Slams it down. Locks up multiple members, but can they get the kills? Youngjin gonna be taken down by the pin. Now Gamsu dead in the hands of Unko. It's been a very deadly Zenyatta this entire game so far, and he is keeping that momentum.
Yeah, and Ding's only hitting 63% right now. This is a very long time bank they're going to have to defend through. Notice Dallas Fuel's playing far forward just to get as much ult charge as possible for AKM. And now, you know, you have to think their win condition is to repeatedly EMP the Fuel as they approach this corner, but they're gonna have to build those EMPs first. Ding going around the backside, actually returns down the staircase.
He's nearly got the first one. Shatter gonna be coming in, looking pretty darn good. AKM gets the Discord orbit, then disappears off the face of the map. OG hit in the corner, not gonna go far away enough to keep himself alive. Will get picked off, and that is gonna give Shanghai control of the cart. And even some nice little delay there on RCK.
They're going to need about 4 or 5 more fights like this where they use one ultimate to stagger a push if they want to hope to defend this and win the map. About 3 more if they want to have the superior time bank. The first of these pushes will be the EMP. Unko, look at how far back he is, does not want to get caught, but Ding sees him. He's looking for him.
Right here. Looking to throw it down, hasn't used it.
Wanted to bait it out, I think, and not use the EMP but force the trance.
But doesn't get it. Instead, both just going to be holding on to those ultimates, so we can just keep trying to repeat this.
Yep.
Ding again, decent angle, pushing his way forward, going to be stunned up. That's going to be the grab, the bomb coming through, not going to be able to find anything. Transcendence going to be out. They'll be pushing forward, now matched by Unko as they stay alive. Shatter in from the side, however, catches the Fuel off guard. RCK popped out the pin onto AKM, takes them down. The Dragons will push them back to the spawn again.
Very patient play from the Dragons, seeing the attacking grab from AKM, converting it into an EMP, then getting that flank. Nicely done by Youngjin, getting an additional stagger. Ding nearly with another EMP. Angle there from Gamsu is intelligent. Knowing that they're trapped in the grab, he's able to skirt around to the right side. As soon as the grab's over, it's a big shatter. And now with all the damage Ding did in that fight, the next EMP is going to be a big one. This time, no support ultimates to deal with that.
Yep.
And the Dragons have done exactly what they need to be efficient here on the defense around this corner.
Major advantages here for the Dragons.
Coma looking for an opportunity.
Drop down going to be coming through the EMP, hits everyone, and they will all be taken down. RCK doesn't even make it to the ledge. They will just finish them off. The wipe coming through, and now having a superior time bank is no longer the thought for the Fuel. It's about finishing the map, having a second chance with those overtime rounds.
You're absolutely right. An EMP leads to a grab leads to an EMP, right? These are the synergies the Shanghai Dragons have built when you use one ultimate to trap targets or weaken them, the other member is going to do damage and build an ult at the same time, and that is what the Dragons are doing here. Nice Fire Strike coming out from Gom, so he's going to have another Shatter online. They need to be careful about Coma knocking him up.
Grab straight in onto the wall. Sound Barrier going to be coming through for closer.
Coma.
AKM not quite behind the shield. Counter Shatter comes out from OG, however. Knocks them on the bums, but the pin comes in. Will not find a kill yet. DM under fire will finally take the strike to the face. Gets taken out, but they lose Zachary in all of the chaos.
I think the Dragons are totally happy with this trade. They're going to back off. They have
for
the
sure.
defender's advantage. They have the spawn advantage. And Ding is just looking for any damage he can. He's going to wrap around the right side. Meanwhile, OG losing that Shatter is huge because that's one of their best counter-engaged tools.
Back onto OG. Suddenly no shield, can't play up. Have to just go back around the corner.
This has to be it for the Fuel. They need to get a good fight here,
Yep.
or they're doomed.
Looking more and more likely to be an OT push coming through. Rally's going to be out from both sides. OG up into the front. Taking so much damage. They push forward. They manage to find him again. Ding still just going to be building up, getting closer to that EMP. The bomb out from RCK, not going to find anything. Makes it back into the mech, but he has to head for the hill.
Aksu's going all the way.
Pin comes in. They get the kill now onto Unko. RCK going to be popped out and staggered. For the umpteenth time, I've lost track.
And this is exactly what the Dragons are looking to do. On that charge in from Gamsu, he doesn't die. Luffy puts an Orbital Harmony on him. Now he's got a Transcendence. They almost have the big six here to defend. Unko's Trance is the counter here, but that's not the only thing they're going to have to worry about. In the longer fight, they're going to deal with DM's grab as well, and they have to get around this corner first. This is a nightmare for the Dallas Fuel.
Yes, it is. Another EMP going to be coming through. Unko does not get caught. Pops the Transcendence to keep themselves alive. Gamsu in the front. Goes so low.
Big
but
Shatter.
doesn't go down. The Shatter connects in. He won't find the pin, but they turns around with a hammer, swings in, and finds closer's face. Takes his head right off. OG able to find Youngjin with the pin, but now he's going lower. The counter grab comes through. They get the tag onto the cart, but there's no one there to follow up. Unko manages to clean up one on the Luffy, but the Shanghai Dragons drain down the clock and they pick up a win to tie the series.
In straight 3-3, you know that AKM's got DM's number, he's got the grab efficiency, he's got that energy building, but in terms of the Sombra, that's the X factor for the Shanghai Dragons. They win a map with it again, and ladies and gentlemen, we have a series on our hands.
That we do, not going down without a fight, tied up 1-1. The Dragons trying to extend that win streak. We'll see if they can take the lead when we come back from the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
map 1 to close out the night after Dallas took map 1 and the Dragons bounced back on Numbani to even things up at 1 apiece at the half. What's up, everybody? Malik back here. We got Zoe and Bryn here at halftime. And guys, whether we see the good fuel or the bad fuel is very much contingent upon a couple of factors, one of them being OG. So how's he been so far in you guys' eyes?
I think map 1, he had a good start.
Yeah, and we were super happy about seeing that because we did discuss it on Watchpoint during the pre-show that OG had some communication issues. He said so himself, that he's felt very nervous going onto the stage, so he stops talking, he stops communicating, and he starts dying. And map 1, it actually, like, he was a standout player. He was basically one of the main reasons why they won on map 1. A lot of great Primal Rage kills, and his ult management was just really good.
Yeah, all in all, I think, you know, impressive showing from OGE. Definitely consistent. Mr. Consistent now, or not quite when it came to the map 2. But the statistics, as you can see here, the biggest one that I want to point out really is the biggest difference in hero damage, the final blows. You can also see the Primal Rage kills, another big one. If a Winston player, they get value out of their Primal Rage kills, generally speaking, that correlates with how good they are. You know, that's generally the case. But it is a very important ultimate to get value out of when you're playing Winston in the triple tank, triple support compositions these days. If you don't get kills with your Primal Rage, probably not going to be going too well.
Right. You know what? I have to say I've been enjoying this tank battle between Gamsu and OG. But let's take a look at the highlights overall that's been going down in this matchup in this first half. Because honestly, it's been kind of neck and neck. These two teams last year, they were pretty close when they were battling. But this time, they're actually battling it out for a playoff spot, a stage playoff spot.
They absolutely are.
And you get the Ana play. Has been amazing.
This was sick.
Some sick sleep darts,
This was a sick play coming out, right? So Youngjin switches to Ana, and you guys might not have realized this at the time, but he sleep darts out of the spawn and catches RCK. It's like a pre-fire spot. And then after he sleeps RCK, he switches back to Brigitte. So this is like planned, orchestrated, super sick. You don't see this often, but I just had to clip it out. I had to take it as like an individual moment because it was so cool to see that these kind of small little things. People used to do it with like the Ana bio grenades as well. They used to chuck them up in the air. So it's cool to see it evolving, you know, with the sleep darts and trying to catch his players off guard.
I would have liked them to switch off of that Ana a little bit quicker, though. I think that was not going too well afterwards. So.
With Dallas Fuel?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I just love seeing Ana in play to begin with anyways. So let's go ahead and jump into the highlights that we had. We had lots of Ding, of course, doing his thing as per usual.
Sombra.
Backing it up, playing Sombra. What do you guys think about Ding?
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Ding Sombra. He is charging his EMP so quickly. It was roughly a charge time of, I think, a minute or something.
Yeah.
So he had it pretty much ready for every single fight. And he got a lot of really good hacks on, which basically were deciding a lot of those fights.
Yeah, all in all, another fantastic game from Ding, but also Gamsu. So Gamsu got a little bit outplayed, I think, in the first game.
Right.
You know, when it comes to the head-to-head against OGE, but in this one, he's definitely stepped up along with his Reinhardt play. All in all, playing way better. Dallas didn't make it easy for them, though. Yeah, by no stretch of the imagination. They definitely fought hard for this victory. Unfortunately, couldn't get it in the end, and Shanghai Dragons coming back. And again, we've got to talk about Ding. This guy is central to a lot of victories for the Shanghai Dragons. They play so well around the Sombra play in particular, and this is going to be a recurring theme, I think, for a lot of teams, and it's how they deal with these Sombra players, especially teams like Shanghai Dragons, when they've got such a fantastic player on their roster who can play to such a high level.
Yeah, and it's not just the EMPs he's hitting, it's also that he's actually untouchable. He died exactly one single time on Numbani, so that's quite a feat. So if you have the All Access Pass, check out his POV. It's actually totally worth it.
Definitely. Take advantage of that. Look at his perspective. All right, guys, we got another half to go, and it's all knotted up. Who's going to come out on top?
I'm gonna stick to Dallas.
Stick it to your pick?
Yeah.
No
Stick with
switches?
Dallas? Okay. I'm going to stick with the Shanghai Dragons, of
All right,
course.
then.
I reckon they're going to be taking this one. You know, the
Panda
crowd's got
bear.
my back. You already know.
Blizzard Arena, what about you guys? Who you going for? We got the Shanghai Dragons? Yeah? They seem to be the favorite. How many Fuel fans we got out here?
There we go.
It's even. It's pretty dead center. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and get into that second half in just a bit, so stay tuned.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are time to dive into the second half of the series. We are tied up 1-1. Shanghai Dragons able to come out on top of Numbani with a fantastic defense. Very much backed by Ding with that Sombra play.
Yeah, very nicely done throughout. He was, as Zoe mentioned earlier, 1 death, but it was actually on the Diva. He died as Sombra, 0 deaths, so practically a perfect game there. Defense, super well done. They defended for so long. You know, the time deficit itself was what we were first talking about, and then they just hit those ult-efficient fights one after another. I don't want to point fingers at anyone on the side of Dallas Fuel. I just feel like, in general, it was better ult efficiency, better ult economy, better understanding of how to play around the Sombra than Dallas Fuel knew how to play against the Sombra.
Yep. Well, Volskaya, going to be the staging grounds for one of these teams to try and take the lead unless we can come to one of those draws. Otherwise, somebody going to be moving up to match point. Let's see what happens when we jump in for Assault. Let's see who can come away with a victory. Starting things off on the defense, it's going to be Dallas Fuel.
Very nice shot of Zarya here.
Stoic.
Very much the queen of the meta, let's be real.
That's very true.
We'll have the Shanghai Dragons on attack first, and they will run Sombra. This is one of Sombra's OG maps, actually. Originally.
Oh, Ding, okay.
Ouch.
Well, that's good spot checking, I'll tell you that much.
Yep.
Knock him down to 8 HP.
One more
Take
right
away
click
that invisibility.
would have done it from AKM.
Okay, well now he's going to be hacked, but still getting armor.
So this is the rare Sombra versus Sombra matchup. Looks like Ding's going to look for Unco here, actually. Decides better of it. Wants to rather look for a high priority hack target to control this high ground.
He's waiting for his team to get into position as well.
Exactly.
So now they're getting ready to be there.
He's got a safe translocator. That's what he placed there so that he can retreat if this goes poorly. They're looking to collapse here once the hack comes down.
Well, hack onto Gamsu, down from RCK, but no real way to follow up. Youngjin, however, goes low, and the Fire Strike will take him out. That's going to be a nice little hold up here onto the Shanghai Dragons attack, so Dallas Fuel kick things off decently.
It's not over yet,
But
though.
Zachary, yeah, he just takes that lob shot to the back of the skull.
DM's on high
finds the
ground.
kill.
He's got better energy. This is actually looking great for the Dragons.
Yeah, they're turning this one around. Luffy finds AKM. Now Gamsu going to be taken down, so trying to claw their way back in here are the Fuel, but the losses very much impacting them more so than the Shanghai Dragons with that faster run back to the point, hack in onto OG. He's just looking to reset. We'll get a little bit of extra farm off him as Ding nearly has the EMP ready
There's
to go.
a window here for a double cap.
Oh, absolutely.
Make no mistake, Grav plus EMP, and they know there's a tiny window before Unco has that last 20% of his Transcends. Closer's not even close. Dallas Fuel did not respect the high ground. The Dragons, you know, lost that opening pick. They lost their opening member on Youngjin, but they had the high ground controlled, and there was more energy for DM. Dallas Fuel still engaged into it, and they paid the price. 6:15 on the clock as they touch B.
EMP going to be coming through. RCK open syncs, and that's going to be OG finding the first kill onto Gamsu. So decent turnaround is going to be shutting down that initial snowball, at least take away some time, allow for AKM and for Closer to build up those ultimates, but still a very stacked hand right now for Shanghai.
But it does buy time for Unco, as you mentioned. RCK, you know, being the aggressor here, eliminates Sting's perfect record in this match. And now this is going to be really Unco versus Ding here for the setup. If they can force the trance out early, it's even better for Shanghai Dragons. Here's the grab.
Well, will just be a grab, maybe just save that EMP for later, but they don't get any kills off the back of it. They can take Closer pretty
And
low.
Unco is patient. He holds the trance. Important, very important in this moment.
Saw that they really had no way, realistically, of getting on top of them to finish off those kills with a grab. EMP now going to be out, however, catches at least 4 members. Unco does have the Transcendence in, but OG's going to be taken down. Shatter coming out, AKM going to be locked up off the point. Now eliminated, as is Closer. Shanghai Dragons in on. We'll get that first tick coming through for a bit more. Unco going to be hounded down and eliminated. Zachary by himself, trying to delay. RCK coming back in. Hacked out here
And
for the
EMP.
moment. Does get taken down, and yeah, as you say, loses out on the EMP at the same time. Grav comes in, but no one from Dragon's gonna be dead. Might just be able to close it here, and they will. 450 plus on the clock.
Critical mistake by OG to try to set up for the shatter there on the right side. Defender's perspective there. As he was caught alone after the EMP went down. Sure, there was a trance coming through from Unko, who was on the other side to make sure that he was not hit by EMP, but that disconnect and distance between OG on the Rhine and Unko on the Zenyatta meant that he was the primary target when his charge didn't go through. He was caught and killed. Then it was essentially a 6v5 fight from there with no transcendence available for Unko. Great proactive plays by RCK overall there, though, to delay. I'll watch this.
Getting it right as the animation starts.
Yes.
Beautifully done.
To be fair, even if his EMP had gone off, pretty unlikely.
No
they
follow-up.
Yeah.
There's no one else there to try to get anything done, so.
But that's the somber matchup right there that Ding understands, that the one thing he is concerned about, while everyone's piled on the point and they can't get positional advantage, is to shut down that EMP. He's able to track that it's available. And, you know, in another situation where they did have follow-up damage, that could be a huge play. In this case, it's just a show-off move almost, it feels like. Don't blame him for making the right play there, but still.
Yeah.
Great time bank here for the Dragons now.
451. Dallas Fuel gonna have to have one heck of an attack.
You know, OG talking about stage nerves. He swapped onto the Tracer earlier when he died. He will swap onto main tank here, but perhaps in this moment, he's just giving himself a moment to compose himself before he attacks. I say that before he swaps to Ana, though. Okay, this is going to be, I think, a temporary sleep dart. Yep.
Trying to get it.
Doesn't get the sleep that we just saw previously.
Trying to do the Young Jin.
Yep. Same idea here.
Can't nail Ding, though. So, no sleep to be found, no break on that Mac early. RCK hiding. Pushing his way around.
Here I
Not gonna
am.
reveal himself, gets a hack, but the leap comes through for Gamsu just in time. Half a second before maybe just go ahead, pick up a kill onto the enemy Winston.
Absolutely.
Push forward onto the point.
Notice how this high ground is continuously held by the Shanghai Dragons, and Dallas Fuel now, the onus is on them to attack and find this angle. They're going to use this tractor to get up. Drop down comes through for the Dragons. Now, how do they capitalize on this advantage? AKM is trying his best, but he doesn't have the energy just yet to fully commit. Gamsu's going to contest.
Yeah, he's going to be going low. AKM pushing back, staying alive.
I guess it's a
Time
forklift,
draining away.
not a tractor, but you guys know what I mean. Is it a forklift?
It's a forklift.
Okay.
It is indeed a forklift.
All right. That's what they use to get the high ground stolen.
There's not much to harvest with a tractor in a very snowy wasteland area.
Hey, you're right. I'm not gonna dispute it.
Well, onto the point now. Gamsu going to be matching straight into their face. Bubbles aplenty to keep him safe. EMP going to be coming in. RCK looking to open things. Catch
He
and
hit
score. Did hit Luffy, but they don't follow up. They're unable to get the kill onto the Zenyatta, the easiest target in that moment.
He's just
First
holding
stick nearly grabbed here. Luffy will still have that ultimate. Now going to be popping it. Ding does get knocked out of the mech here in the end. RCK able to find that. Now it's going to be the grab coming through. Sound barrier in from the Dragons as they try to stay alive, but they still lose out on the Gamsu. Transcendence in from Unko, looking to win the fight right here. Bump up that time, bank the 6 minutes. Then try to push in. Youngjin going to be taken down. It seems like they will have it now as the Dragons try to kite back.
It's a nice bait by the Dallas Fuel over in the room right there to the left of Zachary coming in. That made the Dragons collapse onto them. That gave an opportunity for RCK to EMP. That EMP bought enough time for Unko to get his later Transcendence, which helped sustain them in the fight after Luffy had to use his. Time bank, pretty you know, low here, but let's see what they can do.
Yeah, EMP going to be thrown in. DM taken down now. Gamsu gone. AKM scooping that double kill and
Might be a
building up
double.
towards the next grab. They might be able to
Yeah.
snowball this. Triple kill to AKM. Second tick now coming through. They might just be able to beat the Shanghai Dragons time bank. Drop down coming through from Coma. Takes a little bit of damage, but otherwise going to be okay. They just need a little bit more. 3% away from closing this one out. They move off the point. Oh, no. The Wrecking Ball going straight through off the point is not there to contest. They will be able to get the cap. This is a game of inches right now.
I spoke too soon saying they likely have the worst time bank. They step off, and that's all it takes.
Yep, OT coming up in just a few. And here we go. OT getting ready to roll through. 5:15 for the Dallas Fuel, besting the Dragons by 24 seconds.
Yeah. Very close in terms of that time bank. And we're basically resetting this map now, which is how Volskaya often goes. Since its inception, just been very common to see a lot of overtime rounds.
Yeah.
RCK and Ding will still duel on the Sombras here. Otherwise, will be a mirror matchup. No Ana attempt to snipe here for Youngjin. He's just going to come in. High ground is everything on top of the bunker here.
Looking like the Matrix for a minute there. Ding just kind of dodging out on everything, but finally does get tagged and revealed.
Yeah, they're going to take the left side.
The left side approach going to be coming through. They're just hammering him every twist and turn, every time he tries to push out.
Very
being
clear
met by something.
Yeah, very clear they're trying to deal with Ding specifically. Just not able to get the actual secured kill, unfortunately. Here comes the crossover.
Pushing their way out. Gamsu shield up. Trying to block out where he can.
Fire strike not as good as he would have liked, so they're just going to drop down.
Yeah,
It's
OG
probably a
gonna
help
be
push.
Leading nicely in that regard. They're in to the point
RCK
now.
on the back too.
Any tick they can gain is going to be absolutely huge. Coma goes low, but he makes it into the little side room here. First tick going to be grabbed. Dallas Fuel
They need to pull the
now
trigger.
starting to contest. OG pushing forward, but he's down below half. Shield comes back up. Fire strike going to be good, but OG's is better. Takes down Gamsu. Can they get more? AKM going to be hacked out, but the shield's returning to him. He's getting that healing. Will be okay for now. Ding
EMP.
under some fire. EMP going to be thrown down. Catches 4, and RCK going to be the first casualty. Unko pops the Transcendence. Grabs coming through. Will it last long enough is the question. Unko going to be taken down. Zachary now as well. Going to be lost on the attack, and the Shanghai Dragons, seems like they may have just broken through. They dump in the grab from AKM as the cap comes in.
Oh,
Shanghai
no.
Dragons looking good. DM almost halfway to the next one. Multiple ultimates getting ready to come online for them. Can they snowball this again?
Saw AKM shrug on stage. He knows that's not the grab he wanted. He's going to respawn with no energy as well. This may be a double cap because of it. That's one of the better tools to delay with Unko having no Transcendence.
Already one tick. They're pushing their way through. That's going to be the hack coming down. Catches pretty much everybody other than Coma. Sound barrier does get thrown in. But it seems like the retreat call has been made. They're not trying to convert that into a fight win. So overall for the Dallas Fuel, very happy that Lucio all just went off.
Oh yeah, that's a great trade, and you sigh a breath of relief here, knowing that could have been a disaster, but RCK comes in big when they need it, and now the Dragons have to do a slow eco push here to look for potentially a pick or those ultimates. Notice Coma going on the high ground, trying to get this. There is controlled. They missed the lift though. So we'll have to go around the left side, take the long route. OG though, he's low.
Popping down, Shadow's gonna be coming in, locks up a few members, but now it's gonna be the
deletes the
out
shields.
Ding. Luffy gonna be taken down, the shield's taken away as you do say. Ding finds OG, now RCK gonna be eliminated. The Shanghai Dragons back in onto the point. Starting to tick up, pushing forward. AKM now gonna be gone. Zachary, you would expect, doesn't really stand much of a chance here. Will be able to survive as he tries to build up for that rally, but he needs it yesterday. He needs to have that thing ready to go. DM gonna be hacked out, pushes his way back. Seems like Shanghai taking their time. They know that they still have time ready to go.
That was a
They can train this
huge,
down. They just want to make sure they get that double cap.
huge misplay by OG to be that far forward. He forced the sound barrier, it was deleted by Ding. Now they got the 2 ticks, now they're going for the grab.
Grab comes in, OG being focus fire to Transcendence. Almost not enough to keep him alive, but he will be able to survive for a little bit longer here. Second on the
EMP for
Gamsu.
RCK.
It's gonna be Transcendence in for Luffy, now pushing forward. Zachary under fire, will be taken down. EMP's out, catches everyone just about, but Coma again survives, almost has a sound barrier online, but 4 members are gone, so now we'll just have to save it for the next push.
I think the Dragons could have definitely been a little bit more patient on their reapproach there. They thought that they had a momentum shift that was big enough to re-engage there, use the grab, find a lot of value. As a result, DM only walks away with 35% of his next ultimate, and that's a big problem given that the matchup between AKM and Luffy is definitely Dallas favored right now. Ding once again being tracked down. He has the EMP ready.
Grab's gonna be coming through, locks him up. EMP gonna be thrown in. Trying to deny this hold here for the Fuel. AKM under fire, going lower, will be taken down. And now, again, Dragons into the point, looking to build that percentage back up. 83.8% is where they left off. They will go ahead, surge past that, and get the cap. 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining in the clock, I do believe.
This is not over for Dallas yet, but I have to go back and talk about, you know, that sound barrier we saw coming out from closer, Gamsu, or excuse me, not Gamsu, OG got down to probably sub 50 health. And in that moment, the sound barrier is perfectly timed to save him. The problem is, in that moment when you need that sound barrier to counter the EMP, you want to hold on to that. But he felt like if OG dies, then they lose the point regardless. So he used it. And that's just one small overextension from OG that does come back to cost them those 2 ticks, makes the follow-up capture all the easier. Even still, the time bank reduced significantly, and Dallas Fuel can absolutely beat it. We've seen it many times before, so they can have a strong attack here, as they've just done previously. There's a world in which we go into our second round of extra rounds, where they're advantaged in time bank. 4 minutes and 12 seconds will be the time to do it in order to beat 103.
Yep. A decent enough time to work with here from the Fuel. The Dragons looking alive right now.
OG looks like he wants to, oh, I was going to say potentially go for the honest snipe again, but nope.
Not this time. They don't.
Been there, done that.
Out.
Yep.
Didn't work out. So no need. You're in OT. Have to start pushing forward immediately.
Shanghai Dragons have operated super well on this high ground on the defense. They also once again have to knock them down somehow, whether it's forklift or the left side approach. Looks like it's going to be forklift.
AKM not going to find much in the way of energy. There's a lot of damage to Gamsu, force him into the garage to pick up the mega pack. Now AKM is up top, but Zachary's been taken down. OG completely surrounded at the moment. Will be eliminated. And now it's just going to be cleanup time here as Dallas Fuel gets ready for a reset.
Yep, RCK only walks away with 30% of an EMP. And it may even be worth considering a swap back to the Diva, to be honest, because the high ground, and that's exactly what we're going to do, because the high ground here is of paramount importance. And with only 30% gained, if you're really looking for the EMP to be your engage tool, you're going to lose way too much time bank. So I like this swap a lot from RCK. I think it's the right move.
Well, trying again, pushing up onto the high ground here on the left-hand side. Towards forklift, as you say.
Yeah.
Drop down.
Knocked over by Ding.
Top. Yeah, but they're not going to be able to make it up.
Perfectly timed boosters.
Snapping away, but doesn't find much. Do they try to wrap around the backside of the point? That would almost be the most ill-advised thing, because a Lucio Boop would send you off into the icy depths. Jump forward comes in from Gamsu, zap it away. Nearly has that Primal Rage ready to go. It's not a health pack ready for him, but OG's gonna die as he tries to drop the hammer. They shut him down with a Goomba Stomp. And now the cleanup will come through again. Shanghai Dragons maintaining control, still 3.5 minutes for Dallas Fuel.
We've seen this before.
This is not looking good.
This is really reminiscent of what we just saw towards C on Numbani, where, you know, at the end of all things, despite a large time bank, Dallas Fuel wasn't able to properly utilize their ultimates. In this case, it's a nice knockoff from Ding. Gamsu sees the moment where everyone's clumped up, gets the big leap damage done there, and is able to pop that primal, get those extra kills. Now Shatter lost, but still a grab available for the Dallas Fuel. They need to force the support ultimates before that, though, otherwise they'll just be countered by Luffy and Coma.
Pushing their way up. Recently surging with that energy here is AKM. They managed to find Coma. Grab though, it's gonna be a big whiff. They thought they were gonna be needing that to get rid of it. Now the counter grab's gonna be coming through. Sound barriers out from close to the bomb. Dropping in, not gonna find any pickoffs. Maybe a moment here for the Dallas Fuel. As I say that, though, RCK does get popped out and finished off by DM. They're on to the point. Dallas Fuel, though, need to try to get this cap right now if they want to have a time bank left realistically at this point. Seems like with the kills coming in, they will be able to clean this up. Youngjin just looking to die, pushes forward.
Shanghai should just absolutely give this. There's no reason to contest. As you say, they're barely ahead in time bank when they leave the point to head to B. The worst case scenario is to give Dallas Fuel even further ultimates, because Dallas Fuel does have the ultimate advantage coming into this. So for right now, as Coma, you're the most terrified member of the Shanghai Dragons. You do not see a swap over the Sombra. It's just not worth the risk. They want to keep this Diva for a potential grab eat.
Dive into the back. It's going to be a charge out from OG, keeping himself safe.
Gamsu again.
They nearly pop RCK out. Now going to be juggling the Zenyatta. Gamsu takes a bit of damage here, so will just be retreating. Keeping himself alive. Dallas Fuel, so many ultimates to work with right now. One more tool. A major delay tool gone, taken away from Gamsu there.
100 energy. This has got to be their grab.
Gamsu going lower and lower, almost eliminated. It's going to be the sound barrier in. from Coma, trying to open things. Unko pops a Transcendence.
There it
Grab
goes.
up onto the high ground. DM, he gets so much damage, but he's got to reload. The bubbles come in as well. Bomb from RCK, not going to find anything, but he makes it back into the mech safely.
What a hold from the Dragons so far. Support ultimates both used, though. It's still higher.
Now they have the grab. Boost it in. No support ultimates other than the rally as they try to survive. Unko going lower and lower.
Big
The bomb from
self-destruct.
Sting gets rid of 2. Coma goes forward, finishes off the enemies, and Yada now Zachary going to be gone. 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining on the clock. Dallas Fuel in all of the chaos walk away with no ticks taken on B.
They're out of ammunition as well. There's no engaging ultimates for this. The Dragons hold a rally. And that same Primal Rage Gamsu has been so disruptive with after hitting these big leaps. That's his engagement tool. He may simply go on them before they could touch the point. Holding it till the last second would be advised, though, so he can survive to take this down and get a map win, not just a time bank win.
Pushing their way up. RCK leading the charge, stunned up immediately. Nearly taken out of the mech. Jump over to the side. Primal Rage going to be in from Gamsu. Comes back in onto the high ground. No one really here from Dallas Fuel, so just gonna be jumping around, making sure he can get top back up. OG drops in the hammer.
Gamsu so
doesn't
low.
really lead to any kills. Gamsu, however, will get sniped by Unko. Dallas Fuel onto the point, grab coming through. Hope he's gonna be popping the Transcendence, but Coma gets picked off. The headshots rolling in from Unko. He'll find another one as Youngjin gets eliminated. They're finally ticking their way up. Can they finish this with time in the bank? It'd be absolutely huge for the Fuel.
It's a delay game here. Ooh,
Stop
next
on the
fire.
Gamsu. Oh, they deny him entry to the point. They finally push for it. TM locking him up with the grab, but Unko
Coma
has a Transcendence. They have to stay on the point. They poop him off for a moment, and Dallas Fuel will finally be able to get it.
Now, this is very much amazing for the Dallas Fuel. Things looked absolutely unwinnable. But we go into a second overtime round now. And this is a game that could easily be taken to a win or a draw. You know, we were talking about a massive time advantage previously. We're talking about 42 seconds now in favor of the Dragons. With a good defense here for the Fuel, there's a world where they win this map and go into match point, but it's not going to be easy. Controlling that high ground has been the biggest problem for them on A. Their B takes have been really phenomenal. They've been able to convert ult advantage there very successfully across multiple different compositions, be it the Sombra or RCK on the Diva. But it's A where they've struggled. It's A where the Dragons have really had a good understanding of how to convert this high ground to a low ground advantage, to utilize Gamsu's leap on the Winston to maximize damage, and always keep the Fuel kind of in a merry-go-round situation, ring around the rosy. It almost feels like, as they're trying to figure out how to best get an advantageous position. The Shanghai Dragons usually one step ahead. So this 1 minute here is concerning for the Dallas Fuel. Their defense, I think, is more their win condition than this attack, but let's see if I'm wrong.
Let's see if they can channel the energy of their Texan brothers. We saw the Outlaws earlier on make it work on Kings Row. Now trying to do it here on Volskaya. Ticking down, 10 seconds gone, working their way through the left garage. Be pushing up onto that high ground.
Gamsu's already contesting. He's going to maximize damage and grab a bubble here.
If he gets
as you
done,
can see,
that could be brutal for him. It seems like he'll be okay. Just going to be pushing his way back here onto the low ground. Gets a drop down. Not everybody going to be making it across.
DM controls high ground to peak damage. Unko's in trouble.
Jump into the back. Unko all by himself. No one there to peel. He'll get picked off now. AKM popping the bubble in the front. It's not going to last long enough. It doesn't absorb enough damage. He'll be taken down. The cleanup kills coming through. With 15 seconds remaining, Dallas Fuel, can they do anything to get back to the point? Seems like right now it would take an absolute miracle to extend this into anything on A.
Even touching it is going to be a challenge. OG on the wrecking ball, rolling in.
Pushes his way through to at least force out that OT adaptive shield again. It does not last long enough. AKM swapping over onto the Sombra, manages to pop Ding out of the mech, but now they lose out on it closer. Unko's gonna be gone. The OT ticking away. And with a minute, Dallas Fuel can get nothing here on A, and now they have to defend for a minute and 42 just to get a draw.
Yeah, and this is the win condition I was talking about, or rather draw condition in this case. You know, we knew that with 1 minute to spare, they'd have one realistic push. And as they attacked there, we saw Gamsu gatekeep out on the right side. It was a perfect usage of our overhead map there to showcase how one hero with a bubble can do AoE damage in a choke point and shut down an entire push. And that's exactly what Gamsu and DM did together. And it's just Shanghai Dragons have such a good understanding of this map. We saw it yesterday versus Chengdu as well. They know how to play the Sombra here. They know how to utilize Winston and Diva for high ground. Dallas Fuel's draw condition here is a defense. It's very unlikely to be that miracle offense with only 60 seconds on the clock. Still doable. Certainly doable here for the Fuel. Making the next map a win condition for them, not a must-win for a Game 5. We'll see Unko on the Moira here.
Yeah.
Extra sustain healing.
Changing things up, make him a little bit more elusive.
Can also leap between these platforms.
Ding showing
Moira.
the Sombra.
Yeah.
And Youngjin going for a snipe again, but
Oh.
no one's far enough forward.
If you get the snipe on the Diva here, then you win the map. So I don't think anyone's going to get caught.
I think he'd be hacking considering that she's back at point A right now. So not going to be able to find the sleep dart. We'll just be swapping over onto the break. Ding is sticking through with the Sombra, however.
Look at the collapse setup here for OG. He's hiding in the corner with RCK looking to jump in. He's hacked though.
Everybody just going to be bunched up at the moment. OG does get hacked, as you say.
They're on the point.
No capitalization yet, but they do start working their way forward here onto that initial corner. Another hack coming through, this time on a closer. OG chunked down to half HP. Thing just in the back, gonna be farming up as much as he possibly can. RCK nearly knocked out of the Mech Makamsu is gonna be the first one to fall.
Step
the first
one.
volley not working out.
This is step one for the Dallas Fuel. One big hold like this, and we've got a draw on our hands.
These are the big things right here. The Coalescence and the Primal range very close to coming through.
But no way to shut down the EMP. The problem with running a comp like this is no Transcendence. There's no sound barrier for closers.
Unless Zachary can get a stun on him, they almost just pick him off.
Yeah, okay, this is the big moment. Ding's EMP, can he win the map with it? Follow-up damage is real. DM's gonna have a grab. Here we go.
Into the back, Coalescence gonna be coming down, the fight breaking out inside. OG getting stunned up, going lower and lower. Transcendence is in from Loopy to keep everybody else topped up. Now the grab gonna be coming through. Answering sound barrier out from the Dragons. As they maintain control, they stay alive and now push their way over. The EMP comes in, it catches 4 members. Zachary gonna be gone. Shatter gonna be dropped in. Doesn't really catch anybody, but it might not matter. They're ticking up on the point. No one from the Fuel can really step onto it. They finally contested for a half a second, but the Dragons will be able to close it out. 2-1. Dallas Fuel need to answer back on Escort to force a map 5.
This is a new Shanghai Dragons we are watching here tonight. This is a completely synergized unit, and I fear for the next opponents of them.
Well, that's the Dallas Fuel, so let's see if they can close it out here when we come back from the break.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Shanghai Dragons able to close out Volskaya. Now lead 2-1 and are 1 map away from going on to a 3-match win streak.
Just really feels like the wind is out of the Fuel sails at this point. They had a great mirror setup against the Dragons when we started off the series on Control, but then since then it's been the Ding show on Sombra. He also secured them that win there at the end of our second overtime round on Volskaya. Not to mention Gamsu's Control on the Winston. As we head into Dorado for our final map, there certainly is a lot of Sombra potential here. The beginning of the map, but in terms of, otherwise looking at how this map will play out, there's going to be a lot of control of Ryan and Zarya. And I think that Gamsu's had his biggest success, I really strongly feel, so far on the Winston this series. So with Reinhardt being more the factor here, perhaps OG can redeem himself after some positional mistakes the last 2 maps.
DM looking to start things off with the Widow, trying to find an opening shot.
Just a poke out.
I just gave that stat!
Yep.
It's all good. Takes time, you gotta make the graphic and all that.
Yep.
But just got to reiterate, this is a potential momentous occasion for the Shanghai Dragons. Youngjin taking a lot of damage. I mean, not only that, if you think about it, the Dallas Fuel lose here. They played back-to-back against Shanghai. They could become the first team to lose twice to the Shanghai Dragons.
Could be. They thought they were safe after Boston lost, but not yet.
Not quite.
RCK doing better than Ding in terms of the Sombra play thus far. Obviously, he has the defender's advantage and positional advantage, but these things will add up, especially when he gets the first EMP around this choke point towards the fountain. Different approach angle this time for the Dragons. Coma's on the high ground looking for a knockback target. Hopefully OGE, that's what the target is.
Not coming in, AKM gonna be
He's
going
dead.
low, but OG, the focus, they will burn right through him. Now AKM popping the bubble, trying to stay alive. DM, however, just layering in that damage. Still trying to exit. Seems like they will be able to make it out, but the cart is just pushing all the while.
Yeah, and Achilles, I hate to say it, but an aggressively positioned Reinhardt like OG is the easiest target for that flying Lucio. Is gonna look in there, just pull someone apart. Now they're gonna recontest here, but OG already isolated once again. He's the first to die.
Pushes away out, now it's gonna be the EMP coming in. Unko, he's got the Transcendence, but he's like, hey, where is everyone? Couple members left there, will get a little bit of that healing, but as the trance goes away, so will the Dallas Fuel as the cart pushes through. 449 for the second phase here on Dorado. Shanghai Dragons still holding on to nearly 5 ultimates.
Incredible time bank. OG, he's been nervous before. It's been the storyline of today. His time on Combox as well. One of those stressful moments leading up to this moment against the Dragons, where, as you say, it could give the 3rd win. Once again, Coma's looking for the knockoff. Closer denies.
Gonna be dropping down. EMP coming out from RCK. This time Gamsu gonna be taken out. Rallies through for Zachary. Unco hacked, but no follow-up. Will just be the 1 pick. 2 picks.
Yep. Hurting Ding's KDA here a little bit as he's killed once more. Very few deaths this series, but that's another one as he's trying to get more EMP charge to engage for the next fight. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Not sure how that happened.
Interesting. RCK gonna be taken down. Grab out now from AKM, pinning him into the corner. Speaking of pins, OG goes forward, tries to lock up Gamsu, but he gets a shield, manages to stay alive. OG trying to pull back, but feels like he has to go forward. That's when he gets taken down. Youngjin scoops up a double kill, and the cart will just keep moving.
Repeatedly, we're seeing Ding hack AKM, so he can't personal bubble, or of course bubble his allies. That way, he can't protect himself. They changed targets to AKM when OG got that first bubble, and then the hack came through, and then AKM dies. Right now, he's got no energy. He's behind in ult charge. The cart is just rolling forward. There's no stops to this train, as we do see EMP ready for Ding. Once they spill out, he's gonna look for a translocator for that high ground. Unco hiding behind with the trance. So he cannot be hit.
Again, trying to play it forward, but that's gonna be the EMP in. And he's the first one to hit the ground. Youngjin does get traded back by Zachary, winning out on the Brig 1v1. Luffy keeping everybody else topped up with that Transcendence. Closer right now, gonna be contesting the cart. As the Dragons actually push inside and maybe even wrap around. No, they chase in. They get rid of Zachary.
Incredibly brave angle for Luffy, but it pays off.
It works out quite nicely. Cart not quite through to B yet, but still 2.5 minutes left to go.
2 Shatters about to be online here once Gamsu finishes his. This matchup very crucial in this choke.
EMP gonna be in. Gamsu caught off guard. Isolated, will be taken out.
And this is gonna be the Dragons retreating. They had no support ultimates to deal with the EMP, so they knew RCK had this available. They were just gonna back off. Still a nice stagger here for the Fuel. It's a long run back to B for the Shanghai Dragons after they get staggered. Long range grab.
Oh yeah, lobs that one in. DM, however, will be taken out in exchange on the Zarias at the beginning, but Unko helps leverage that trade a little bit more into their favor as Colmunk gets taken out as well.
Uncharacteristically, a sloppy grab there from DM. Very risky, no follow-up, poor communication in this moment. Gamsu was not in range to have the follow-up. I think that was the idea. Execution a little bit weak. And now by the time Ding gets an EMP, the support ultimates once again will be ready for the Fuel. They've really stabilized here. Great position. They keep holding this high ground. And on the opposite side here, it's tough for the Dragons to really accomplish anything here. They're going to have to jump down, as you can see, to get on the cart.
Yep, they're going to have him right above. OG in the meantime goes down by himself to keep this thing contested. Takes a lot of damage.
He's the target.
But now going to be top back up. Shatter coming in. Oh! So to the side. Transcendence in as they push forward. Luffy keeping the Dragons topped up. EMP is ready for Ding. Invests it immediately. Catches 3. So far, Zachary going to be taken down. Now OG falling on the side of Dallas Fuel. They managed to find the main tank, but that's about as good as it gets. Decent time drained out of the bank here by Fuel, but now we're going to have to try to stabilize again. The Shanghai Dragons push into B. Bump that time bank up to 20.
This is a nice little stagger, too, to get
Split
these.
spawns, yep.
Yep, split spawns. What a split spawn means, for those who don't know, is when you spawn before the respawn gets moved back to point C, you get caught, and then obviously you're dead. Just gets a free push through this gateway here. Happens a lot on Dorado specifically. We see it almost every game.
Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood as well.
Moving into the studio.
Just how the game works, and it's a good strategy as a pro player to be able to abuse how spawns work. All right, RCK with the EMP ready. That's their best tool to slow this down.
Hack in. Grab does come out. 2 members going to be gone on either. 1 member going to be gone on either side. As I say that, no. OG as well going to be eliminated. 3 now. Dragons trading up massively. 3 for 1 deal. The cart will continue to push. Uncle going to be dropping down, but it's going to be met with death.
Yeah, he just wants to stagger the cart a little bit here. He needs to respawn. The team needs to reset up, but it's going to be the EMP once again that is what they need. Luffy, if he gets caught here, look at this. He hides behind the corner. He knows.
Yep, comes out. He's right out of range. Now goes forward with a Transcendence. Perfectly done by Luffy. OG taken out. Unco under fire. Pops the Transcendence here in desperation, just trying to keep everything contested. The Shatter comes in. Finds AKM into the back. Can they get the kill? Beating and battering him, Zachary. In the meantime, going to be taking the brunt of it all here in the front. Shatter coming through.
It's a nice one.
Finds it. OG dies as soon as he drops the hammer. There's no real follow-up. An extra EMP at the end and celebration from Ding. And the Dragons will be able to finish the push here on Dorado.
Gonna have to put some real stats out there for you guys. OG currently sitting at 5-9 on the Reinhardt at the moment, and is building his ultimate almost twice as slowly as Gamsu is. He's caught in these fights often early, and he's one of 2 members in this game at the moment to have a negative record, unfortunately. But I find that rather than point out that OG is stepping forward, it's actually what's really going on here is Shanghai Dragons are so laser focused on when he does step over the line. And it's Koma who's coming in there with a knockback to separate him from his team. It's Ding coming through with the hacks on either the Zarya, who's supposed to protect him when he's in these moments, or on him so his shield drops and he's focused. Discord orbs coming through quickly from Luffy. And that's why OG is dying so quickly. Sure, there are some moments where he should not be as far forward as he is, but he's trying to make a play. It's his play style. The Shanghai Dragons, even though they had a match yesterday, have clearly prepared against this well. It's not a, top secret opinion or some sort of, trade secret for Overwatch that OG likes to play aggressive, right? And the Shanghai Dragons are just really making the Fuel's life difficult with these picks non-stop.
It seems like a similar start for now for the Fuel as they get ready to go on their own attack. 49 seconds, the final time for the Dragons. Never mind, not even going to be bothering with the Widow shot. Zachary just going to be set up with a Brig. RCK, however, still sticking with that Sombra. Start advancing. Kamsu winning around the corner.
Yep. Ding also on the high ground. The Hackmaster here.
Gets spooked back. Whip shot to the face. They'll just jump across to the other side.
He's isolated again. Uh-oh.
Fire strike's looking pretty good. Youngjin, however, trying to get out of there, but AKM lobbing in those right clicks, finds two. Luffy and Youngjin both going to be taken out.
This time they get the kill convert. This time it's going to be a nice push for the Fuel.
Jason forward, DM going to be eliminated. They get Coma. Massive turnaround here for Dallas Fuel.
If they could have grabbed Gamsu here, it would have been huge, but AKM is going to maintain high energy, perfect bubble timing there to jump up to 90 plus. And he will be able to get away, no problem. The cart rolls through here, super smooth, uncontested.
For now.
One more shot.
For it, though. Gamsu going to be dropping in. They get the stun on the OG, but shield is there from AKM to help keep him alive. It's Zachary hacked out, taken down. Coma scoops up the kill. AKM sliver of HP will finally be finished off as DM comes back in. Finds some revenge.
And with less than a meter left, there's no EMP. They're so close. We're so close to getting this with a great time bank, but now suddenly staggered. Now suddenly, once again, the map slips through Dallas Fuel's fingers as they're dealing with Sombra harass, ult efficiency, and a choke point all at once. That was their best chance to get through this without using ultimates. Now they're going to have to use a lot of tools to break through, and it's going to cost them a lot of time.
Looks like they can massively outplay him. We'll have to see what happens. EMP is going to be thrown in from RCK, catches a couple of members. Coma and Unko both going to be on the exchange, but Gamsu finds Zachary. So again, the trade-up coming in will be at the benefit at the Shanghai Dragons, and they still have an EMP for the next approach.
That's right. Luffy with the trance there, that was the crucial moment. So now it's going to be on AKM to use his Graviton Surge. You'd have to expect, if they're going to win this fight, could set up an ult combo. They have both support ultimates almost online. The Dragons don't have that. So in the longer fight, Fuel wins this. But they've got to be wary of that EMP. Here comes Ding. He's hiding. They don't know where he is. Here he comes.
Dropping down from above. Unco does get clipped by it. Not going to be taken down yet, but the rest of his team, there's nothing he could do. Had he not gotten caught, Transcendence would have been right there.
And with a D.Va-less composition like this, especially on this map, on A, where it's difficult to actually shoot at where Sombra is hiding, it's so hard to identify where she is. So she hits both supports. Both of those tools I was talking about aren't there. This is Dallas Fuel's best chance, though. Now there's no EMP. They've got both support ultimates. It has to be this one. If they can't win with this one, the series is over.
Well, it's going to be out. DM throwing down the Graviton Surge, locks them up. Sound barrier through from closer. Shatter comes in, but it's Dallas Fuel who are turning the fight around. 4 kills going their way. RCK pushing forward. Manages to help find the kill there onto Luffy. The team wipe comes through. Dallas Fuel have broken in. They will get A.
And the best thing about this for the Fuel is they do it with only 2 ultimates, really. I mean, Rally is kind of like half an ultimate. You keep the armor for a while. It's not like it's wasted. It stays here. Can be built very quickly. But they still hold the trance. They still hold the EMP. There's ways to get through the streets phase efficiently to catch up on lost time here if executed correctly. OG just needs to be careful. Does not want to get punished again by Shanghai Dragons. And Coma, watchful eye.
EMP going to be coming through. Catches both the supports for the Shanghai Dragons. Kamsu going to be taken down. Now they'll find Luffy. Barrier there, through onto Coma, but he will be able to just go ahead and speed his way out, but the map has opened up. They can just keep charging up the street right now.
Yeah, Ding close to an EMP. This could really stop them in their tracks. He survives there, even though he was losing the duel there against RCK. RCK wanted to finish him off here. Does not locate Ding. Ding's now got the EMP. Once again, Unko needs to make sure he does not get hit with that EMP like he did previously. He's hiding around this corner, so he cannot be in the line of sight of the EMP, but he's found!
Does get hacked out.
Uh-oh!
EMP going to be coming through on the back end, but Unko still going to be okay for now. Has not been taken out. OG under fire. The Transcendence comes into the perfect moment. OG turns it around, finds the hit there onto Gamsu, drops the hammer. It's just multiple members of the Shanghai Dragons, and now the kills will start to come in. Coma dies again with a barrier. Just has to hold on to it, knows that it's too late. The opportunity is gone, and the Dallas Fuel should be able to get B right here.
Incredible plays by Zachary to heal him up, keep him alive in that moment. Now he's got a rally. Had Unko died there, totally different scenario, but he keeps him alive. Unko gets to use the trance right afterwards. So even though he was caught, the Dallas Fuel knew exactly how to respond in that situation.
I mean,
everyone got a good time bank.
Everyone just jumped right in front of Unko, making sure that they could not get any hits. And one hammer swing, I believe, from Gamsu was about it, but now it's going to be an EMP out from RCK. 3 kills right off the bat. The Dallas Fuel
Suddenly,
not backing down. They are pushing against the Shanghai Dragons.
Suddenly, after a really rough cap on A, they look to have the advantage in time bank. Dragons, they've been ult efficient before, but this time they're not going to have any EMPs, and they're at a positional disadvantage.
Ding here up over the top. Still not even halfway to the EMP. Grab's going to be out from either side. Sound barrier in from the Shanghai Dragons. No support ultimates for the Dallas Fuel. They still managed to claw back 1 kill on Gamsu.
Huge
the shatter from OG, absolutely massive. Gets a pin kill on Youngjin. Follows up on the Luffy in the back. OG, he punches his way through. The cart gonna start rolling in, and they still have 2:15 left on the clock. The snapback comes in, shatter down from Gamsu. He's gonna die before he can arrive to contest it. And Dallas, man.
And this is what it looks like when aggression pays off. OG gets the shatter, the double charge kill. Redemption on Dorado for a very difficult defense.
Absolutely, more than double the time bank. 2:22 for the Fuel. Let's see what these guys can do when we come back from overtime. And here we go for overtime. Ready to roll. Dallas going to be first on the defense as they have that larger time bank. 2:22 to the 1 minute of Shanghai Dragons.
Similarly to what we talked about previously, I think the win condition here for the Dragons will be a defensive one, especially because they have a significantly smaller time bank than the Dallas Fuel did on Volskaya in a similar situation. If they can get this cart to A and get an efficient EMP, suddenly this becomes a big push, right? But that doesn't seem very likely, given Dallas Fuel had a really good defense on A just in our previous round. So as long as Dallas Fuel are careful here, they have a massive advantage.
Yep, hack there on Gamsu. Can't raise the shield, just gonna wait that one out. Now can continue to advance. RCK here on the high ground, gonna be getting that armor pack from Zachary. So he can just stick around, keep harassing people. Ding, in the meantime, he's not been doing much.
Yeah, he's in the center here. He's just looking for Unko, I think, but he's just not able to get into position to hack him. Only 20 seconds left. I mean, there's no ult advantage to Shanghai. This is not going to be a massive push as a result. He's just trying to track RCK now. The hack here would prevent the translocate.
It does get the hack there onto Coma, keeping them contained in the side room here. With the time draining down, they have to get moving. Everyone gonna be glued to the cart now. Ding pushing forward. Zachary the first one to fall. They get the stun now. OG gonna be taken down. Unko answers one back on a Gamsu, but it's 3 members gone. Unko, he himself will fall closer. Gonna be taken down as well. A near team wipe. The Dragons, after playing so patiently, so timidly, it would have seemed, just push right back at the Fuel.
But there is an option here. There is an opportunity, rather, for the Fuel to hold at this choke with the EMP and stop this overtime push right now. They're not down on ultimates. That's the biggest concern you ever have in an overtime defense is, oh, we're just never going to be efficient. But the EMP is going to look to shut down Luffy.
Does have that. Transcendent's ready to go. EMP going to come out, and
we'll have to get a replay on that one.
Yeah, please.
Not entirely sure what happened there.
I think that there was a big old Charlie Niner.
Might have been third letter of the alphabet, number between 8 and 9 there. Let's take a look at that replay at the moment.
Well, we'll get it up in a little bit while we let the teams get settled for the next round.
This is huge for the Fuel because that was going to be a much more difficult push to deal with.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, Youngjin.
Oh my God. That was actually a C9.
That is a big old C9.
Oh my God. All right. Well, What a C9 means is when you step off of an objective when a team fight is still in progress or won. And that actually happened. So what you know, I assume...
There was no action to get caught up in. There was nothing else going on.
Yeah, so what I assume Youngjin, what his thoughts were is I'm going to go with my team and engage on this fight. I'm sure Koma's got the cart babysat. Communication error here.
Yeah, massive.
And that means the Fuel are in prime position to bring us to a game 5.
Who knows how much further that cart could have gone.
We'll never know.
And yep, we will never know. Dallas Fuel though, 2:22. Starting time bank just have to go meters past A, but RCK gonna get picked off the bat here.
Gonna buy them a little bit of free time. Crowd chants for Dallas here as they come through. They've got the time advantage. And Ding respawning here, or sorry, looking as RCK's respawn around for the backline.
Stun coming in, Youngjin looking to make up for the mistake. Does help take down OG, but now gonna be eliminated. 2 members, 3 members gone. Dragons suffering heavy losses. Remaining few have to try to get out of here with their lives intact so they can recontest this cart, because as you can see, it doesn't really have to go anywhere once it rolls into A.
AKM, high energy here, or medium to high energy as he chases down fleeing targets. The Dragons, unfortunately, super ult inefficient. There's no way they can, with those last few skirmishes going poorly for them, come in and contest this cart. They're not even running a Winston. There's no sustainability. How do they win this fight? It's gonna take a miracle. RCK, high ground control, Koma boops him, and Gomps is going in.
Yeah, already though, getting chunked out. The Zarya bubble coming in a little bit too late. Ding gonna be taken down closer. Finds the hit there onto him. Meaning that there's likely not to be an EMP here on this defense for the Dragons. Youngjin gonna be eliminated a little bit too late here for Luffy with that Transcendence. Grab gonna be coming out. DM locking him in. AKM gonna be gone. Shatter comes down. Gamsu taken out. Luffy gonna be gone. RCK scooping up the kills. And that will be the cart pushing forward. 0.3 meters up to go is all that they need. Ding's in the back. He can't do jack. And that is just gonna be the finish here you would expect as the Dallas Fuel look to close it out. Just gotta wait for that cart to start advancing. Takes a while. There you go.
You know what? That time that it takes the cart to push there is probably what Youngjin was actually relying on. He didn't realize it was done. I don't know, man.
We will never know the answer.
We'll never
really
know.
Weird circumstance, but guys, we're going to a game 5, so don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss the conclusion. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a very weird turn of events, but here we are, a Game 5 getting ready to happen between the Dallas Fuel and the Shanghai Dragons after some shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, look, Dallas Fuel were poised to win the map regardless, but it feels bad if you're a Dragons fan because
you'll never know.
You'll never know.
Pulled it off.
It could have gone so far. There was an EMP about to hit them. It was not a favorable position. After that, you know, after the dust settled there, the re-engage for the Fuel might have stopped them just a few meters further forward. But either way, you know, it feels bad. If you're a Dragons fan, you're hoping that was going to be the miracle push. We're going to map 5. And this is also feeling good if you're a Dallas fan, because on Ilios, we had the absolute control of Zarya versus Zarya by AKM, which outside of high ground has kind of continued, right? When we're in the neutral space where we are not having DM and Gamsu operate on that high ground, which is something the Fuel has struggled to, you know, take away from them if we go back to Volskaya. But on Nepal, well, there's a little less high ground, low ground. It's more about these neutral fights. And there's some depth we'll see on Sanctum where we start here. You know, I have to personally give the edge to the Fuel on this map type.
Yeah, based on the earlier results, certainly looking like it could be in their favor. OG as well, back on the Winston. Something that we know is very comfortable for him. He's gonna be meeting up here onto the high ground along the right-hand side. From the Fuel's perspective, a lot of shots coming in from Munko in the back, and Gamsu gonna be taken down. So already, fantastic start. Youngjin tries to make it out. Sliver of HP, but seems like we'll be able to kite back towards the dropship, at least for a little bit longer.
Munko really turning that fight in their favor. Massive damage coming through. Good Discord targets. They're going to try to touch this point and tag it in first. We will see a contest. Perhaps not, actually. They're going to engage.
Yeah, they're looking for the fight while the team is split up at the moment, but don't find any kills for it. See, Gamsu not really willing to fully commit in with that jump. Unko gets a pick off. Luffy going to be gone.
They're going to have to leave it.
Yep.
This is rough for the Dragons.
So much space to work with.
Yeah, control of this choke now too. AKM is a little bit behind in ult charge, but with the choke point here, it's not going to take long for him to blast those right clicks through and catch up, as you can see. And then they can just disengage. This is all in the Fuel's favor. The ball's in their court. They're going to engage themselves actually onto this choke.
Yep, now they have the grab. See if they still want to play this far forward. Team a little bit split off. They see them wrapping around the side. RCK takes away Luffy. Gets rid of something there. But now it's going to be AKM taken down before he can really layer in any of that damage. Zachary has the rally rolling. Unko with the Transcendence, however, keeping the rest of the squad alive and healthy as they wait for AKM to rejoin. OG looking for some knockoffs with that Primal Rage. Bomb going to be inside. Man's going to pop off. Ding going to be taken out of the mech. Looking for the finish here. Onto the enemy, Zenyatta. Luffy going lower and lower. OG will be able to find the kill. Now it's going to be a grab coming back through. RCK going to be knocked out of the mech. Youngjin, however, zapped to death. You would expect a little bit more damage. They will be able to find it. However, 3 members dead on the side of the Dallas Fuel, but they still have control of the point for now.
This is another great fight for the Shanghai Dragons, but it comes at a price. Ultimates were used here. Gamsu tossing out that Primal Rage. That's the best tool you can have in terms of delaying and catching up in terms of ultimates, in terms of control meter at 8 to 79 at the moment. Dallas Fuel are looking to just come back in here and take this with an ult-efficient fight. And AKM, you know, once again in this neutral map with no low high ground, is doing a lot with his energy.
Bomb going way into the back, but will clip onto the wall, so not able to find it in the doorway. OG, however, going to be taken out, but AKM
high energy
finds the amp. Now Youngjin going to be gone. 2 for 1 to start. So wait for OG to rejoin. Luffy now going to be eliminated. And it seems like Gamsu, yeah, nowhere to go. Tried to go in for the leap as Zachary boops him off to the side. So Flip coming back in, only 37% given to the Shanghai Dragons. Dallas Fuel pushing it past 80.
Yeah, nice whip there. Mess up the jump trajectory. It's going to further delay them, and they have rally and support ultimates to get onto the point. That will build the tank ultimates. Gamsu and DM will be able to build this with rally plus sound barrier.
Grab's going to be out. Luffy immediately responding with that Transcendence, but the bomb from RCK still manages to find Coma. Pushing forward on the dregs of that sound barrier shield. Trying to make this last. Trying to find some success. OG going to be popping the Primal Rage as AKM gets rid of Gamsu. Very few mitigating factors now for the Shanghai Dragons to try to take some damage away. Ding going to be losing out onto the mech. They join back in. Grab comes through. Sound barriers in from closer, trying to keep them all alive. DM and Ding both going to be eliminated. Youngjin, Koma, need I name more?
They've
All
got
going to
it.
be taken down. That's the first round of Nepal going the way of the Dallas Fuel.
Very controlled map by them. Nepal, a map where their style can really show through. Less potential Sombra, right? No EMPs really to deal with on this map. We've seen it before on Sanctum, but it's very difficult to execute. Feels very all-in, very difficult to farm the EMP because you put yourself in a position where you're going to get stunned by the Brigida if you try to do so. And with the early lead, the Dallas Fuel and AKM built, they were able to control chokes, always be ahead in ultimates. And the Shanghai Dragons, they've got an opportunity to win this Rhine versus Rhine battle now. As we head into Village, this is going to be where OG can really redeem himself. I mean, fully. If he can play safe, play careful here, not get caught, Dallas Fuel closes out the map in the series. And we'll be running RCK on the Sombra once again, whereas the Dragons want to use Ding for high ground control.
Just hacking out that Mega Pack before joining him with the rest of his squad. OG and Zachary both taken dangerously low here, and actually OG going to be finished off. Goes in for the Fire Strike, and Luffy just takes his head off.
This is what I was afraid of for the Fuel. OG just the target. When they're running the Diva in particular, they're able to do so much more damage quickly. And now this is one of the only maps where high ground matters of these three. You know, when you look at Sanctum, not so much. Shrine, not so much. But here, the high ground does matter. So getting this first cap and having these players up here means Dallas Fuel is going to have to take a different approach. They can't take the choke, but now they're fighting against high ground on the low ground here.
Yeah, Koma going low, Zachary. Again, going to be under fire. Right-click shots coming in from DM. Getting that damage through. Unco will be a casualty at the same time. Dallas Fuel do manage to get the flip and all of the chaos, but they're not going to be holding it for very long. Already taken back, only 5% snagged. As they will just continue to clean up the members of the Fuel.
You know, T-Mobile may have you high ground, low ground covered, but I tell you, Reinhardt's shield does not. If you're up on you're down on the low ground, it's going to be a big problem when you're getting hit by these right clicks coming through from the Zarya. Same with Zachary with his shield, and the Diva having to aim upwards or use her boosters to attack and contest the high ground means the defending Diva has the cooldown advantage. And once again, this time they're going to take actually the choke point, so a huge Fire Strike.
Shatter nearly there for OG. Blocks out Gamsu's. Grab, however, going to be locking him up. Unco, no Transcendence. The pin is good from Gamsu. Picks him off again. 60% about here for the Dragons as they look to tie things up on Nepal.
It's a really good play by DM. Understanding the Grav would isolate OG, he'd be the first to die. They're just going to wait for his respawn here. He'll have the Shatter for this next attack, but they still have to go through this choke point, which means they're still going to take a lot of damage. Gamsu's Fire Strike is the biggest source. Actually, they turn around.
Yeah, do wrap around the other side, catching him off guard, it would seem. Push their way onto the point first. Dragons, though, not giving it away yet. Grab's going to be coming down, locks him up, bomb to the back from Ding, looking for some big offs, but not going to be able to find anybody. Luffy, the Transcendence now going to be expired. Shadow coming down, the bomb's going to be set up, but doesn't come up with any kills itself, and RCK actually can't make it back into the mech, but the rest of the Fuel are able to come up with the kills. Ding going to be knocked out of the mech here at the end. Luffy taken down, trying to get a kill here onto OG. Koma as well, really trying to make this one happen. But we're into OT. 99% for the Dragons as the flip comes in. Dallas Fuel, a very long way to go if they want to close this out with a 2-0.
They do have control of the high ground now and this choke. They have a win condition. AKM splitting with OG there and coming for the flanking Zarya damage was really ingenious on that last attack. It gets them the point, but they're going to have to do more than that if they want to close this map out now. Here we go, right side approach for the Dragons. Grab almost ready for DM.
Pushing their way up. Does have it ready.
High energy.
Taking a bit of damage, throws it right at OG's feet, locking him up. Transcendence is in from Unco, and Gamsu pushing forward to try to farm up an Earth Shatter. Will be taken out. So charge forward here for the Fuel. AKM scooping up kill after kill, holding on to that grab. The Fuel now looking good, now looking poised. Maybe they can actually take this. The Dragons, though, not going to go down without a fight. We've already seen that from them in this series.
Dragons fans are silent here. They know that there's not a whole lot of ultimates to initiate onto the point with here. No Shatter, no Grav. It's going to be support ultimates they have to fight through. They got to be careful of OG Shatter, and AKM comes to the pincer.
Grab comes in, Luffy going to be popping the Transcendence. Goes straight into the grab, keeps everybody topped up for the moment. Zachary taking a lot of damage. Shatter going to be coming through, locks up Ding, locks up a few more here into the front. DM going to take himself out as he stands up. The right click gets rid of himself.
Coma was so close. He was so close to a sound barrier. It might have saved them, but it's not enough. AKM's positioning really good on this map. He's low energy, but it's these grabs that are making the defense happen. 12% away is the fuel. One more shot for the Dragons, and they're not going to have the support ult that they had last time. They're not going to have that Treads.
They have to flip this. They have to make this happen. Shadow's going to be coming down from Gamsu. RCK going to be locked up in the sound barrier from closer. Perfectly timed. Keeps everybody alive, and Unko is still holding on to that Transcendence. Ochi's going to be eliminated. Good pin from
Coma's on the point.
but DM going to be taken down at the same time. The main damage dealer for the Dragons has been eliminated. Youngshin going lower. Unko finds Luffy. Now the Brink's going to be gone. Ding answers back. Gets rid of one, but Kalma going to be gone. The mech is going to be gone, and that should be it. Pin comes through from Gamsu, but as it expires, as he gets the hit, it takes down, and the Dallas Fuel, they take it all the way to Game 5. They win it 2-0 on Nepal.
This is just one part of a two-part match. They will face the Dragons again next Friday, but tonight, it was AKM, the better Zarya, and when you take that high ground, low ground advantage away, he absolutely had the better energy management. It was his positioning, his angles that won them the final map in Nepal. For the Shanghai Dragons, they're not going to get that third win tonight, but they still look vastly improved. This is a new season and a new Dragons. Ding on the Sombra, making waves right now. What a great series, definitely series of the night.
Yeah, fantastic. From both of these squads, neck and neck. Could have really gone either way. Dragons put up one heck of a fight, but Control could not come out on top, could not extend us to that third and final round of Shrine. But guys, let's go ahead and throw down to Mika, who's on the floor with RCK.
Thanks, guys. We're here with RCK. Make some noise. We've got a lot of fans here in the front. I love it. So this was such a tight series. There was a lot of back and forth, but you guys pulled it out in the end. So how are your emotions after such a crazy game?
Well, it was a tight game, as you could see, and I think we're really happy about the result after all. Like, we were very confident coming for this match. We did a lot of small mistakes, but after all, we pulled it out.
You did, congratulations. And now that you've pulled it out, you have next Friday to look forward to, where you go up against the Shanghai Dragons again. But do you think that your win has given you an edge, or are you still just head down to the keyboard, gonna really grind this one out?
I think we're gonna fix the mistakes that we did, gonna be a bit more confident, and we're gonna take it home.
Absolutely. Well, I know all your fans here are cheering for you, and they will be cheering for you next Friday. So thank you to RCK, and we're gonna kick it right back up on to the casters.
Thank you very much, Mika. Good to hear from him, and good to hear that they're still going to be tackling that next bout against the Dragons in a very serious fashion. Again, was so close between these two teams, especially on the non-control maps. I think that if the Dragons can tighten up their play there, it could be honestly a Shanghai win next time out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll talk about it further, but after we watch our player of the match by Omen by HP.
Gotta see who it is. A couple different people.
Yeah.
That it could go to as per usual, but it will be AKM coming out on top. I mean, he kicked things off with a phenomenal Zarya performance on Control that really paved the way to that first map victory.
I only ever feel like he really suffered on Volskaya, and that's because his team just wasn't able to wrestle Control away. But on B, he had some good moments. Dorado, solid as well. I mean, for me, AKM is not only in terms of stats and his ability to control Zarya, what really won them this match, but his ability to keep players like OG calm in the face of adversity, being a good shot caller, being a leader, and such improvement after last year. It was not his hero pool. He had some struggles, adapting last year and, was actually having emotional times himself. Now he comes back as this new leader, and Dallas Fuel looks all the more terrifying when he's in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, arguably even this year, not really the heroes that we're used to seeing him as, as a legacy player in the Overwatch scene. Still not quite pandering to that, but phenomenal performances coming through from AKM. It's been absolutely wonderful from him, but congratulations to the Dallas Fuel for winning that series there versus the Dragons. They'll get another shot next week when they face off again, but guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't go anywhere though, because we still have the Watchpoint post show coming up in just a few, so make sure you stay tuned.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.